the mood music in Washington ahead of the meeting certainly not as positive as some of the expressions that we've heard about this face-to-face encounter with President Trump from President Cyril Ramaphosa.
Is it fair to say then, Simon, that expectations are pretty low, considering where the relationship stands, and that ambushes have often been par for the course, to use the golf analogy here, because there will be so many golfers in the room as well, and that it may be difficult to get to an actual win, but that this may pave the way to an ultimate win at some stage, because relations would have perhaps been reset and an understanding would have possibly come to the fore. Is that the sense you're getting?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you used the golf analogy, because I actually think the presence of those golfers, Ernie Els and Retief Goosen, and also Johan Rupert, of course, leading international business person in the room, that's a move by President Ramaphosa to kind of distract the president's attention away from some of the more really contentious issues on the agenda, because we know Donald Trump loves golf, we know that he's got a warm personal relationship with Ernie Els, and we know that in Johan Rupert he will see a business person who, like Donald Trump, is all about the art of the deal. It's not quite the same as the British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer sitting in the Oval Office and pulling out of his pocket the invitation from King Charles to make a state visit to the UK. But it certainly is an effort, I think, to kind of change the atmosphere in the room, warm it up, bring people in that Donald Trump may enjoy communicating with. But at the end of the day, you know, America is a country that has already accepted Afrikaner refugees, granting them a fast track to American citizenship. Marco Rubio said earlier this week more will soon be on their way. The president himself and the Secretary of State have continued to insist there is a genocide taking place in South Africa. President Trump says it exists, but the media is engaged in a conspiracy not to report it. I mean, you can have as many golfers and business people as you like in the room. You've got to find a way of overcoming American policy that the South African government argues is being based on disinformation. Yeah. And that's going to be the biggest challenge. If President Ramaphosa can find a way of threading the needle and overcoming that hurdle, maybe that reset can actually occur.
Yeah, Simon, have you heard any word with regards to this deal reportedly with regards to Starlink possibly being offered as a contract to Elon Musk to perhaps soften things up a little bit as well before that meeting? And also, just very quickly, have we reached a new level of diplomacy where the appeal, the trickery, the pageantry needs to look slightly different in order to appeal to leaders like Donald Trump?
Yeah, I mean, on the issue of Elon Musk, Mr. Musk, as you know, within the last 48 hours has again been accusing South Africa of racism because it has shut, he says, Starlink out of South Africa. The South African government, of course, argues that there are ways for Elon Musk to operate in South Africa, but he's got to adhere to the black economic empowerment rules of the road, something that Elon Musk very much recoils against. It did occur to me that a possible masterstroke for President Ramaphosa, instead of pulling out a letter from the king from his pocket, might be to pull out a Starlink license from his pocket in the Oval Office. That might, of course, help warm relations. But, you know, there are still huge BEE issues to contend with regard to Mr. Musk's desire. On the pageantry, you know, what is so different about the Trump presidency from all the other presidents that we've witnessed is his determination to turn these Oval Office encounters with visiting foreign heads of government and heads of state into made-for-TV reality programs. You know, the business partly now gets conducted not behind closed doors, but even before they go into closed-door conversation, in these impromptu press conferences that take place in the White House. It's a pageant. There is danger in those impromptu press conferences for President Ramaphosa and other visitors, but there is also opportunity. So it'll be interesting to see when this meeting happens, the extent to which all the preparations and the presence of those other guests in the room pays any dividends.